Desperate Putin is reaching the end of the road. February 1, 2026. Vladimir Putin's theatrical announcement of a one-week pause in attacks on Ukrainian civilian targets, and the misplaced praise it drew from President Trump, should fool no one. Putin is merely offering to suspend war crimes for 7 days. This is not the act of a confident commander, but of a leader whose army is nearing collapse. The Russian armed forces are in severe decay. Reports now confirm that wounded convicts, some missing limbs, are being sent back to the front to plug manpower gaps. Many lack prosthetics and are expected to fight on crutches. This is not resilience, it is desperation. After more than 1.5 million casualties, Putin has exhausted nearly every source of manpower. He has expended some 15,000 North Korean troops, recruited mercenaries from Africa, emptied prisons, and now even forces the severely injured back into combat. For anyone of fighting age under Putin's rule, this should be a stark warning. Two conclusions are unavoidable. First, Russia is hemorrhaging combat power. Independent analysis shows Russian advances are slower than trench warfare in the First World War, at comparable human cost. Over the past 2 years, Russia has captured just over 1% of Ukraine while suffering more than 500,000 casualties and losing roughly 1,000 soldiers per day. Since early 2024, advances have averaged between 15 and 70 meters daily, failures even by the grim standards of Passchendaele or Verdun. This is attritional warfare at its most brutal. Injured soldiers are used as expendable bullet catchers in the hope Ukraine will run out of ammunition, something that will only happen if the West allows it. Second, this exposes the Kremlin's total disregard for its own people. While Russians endure soaring inflation and interest rates, Moscow prioritizes missiles and drones to terrorize Kiev rather than caring for its citizens. To the Kremlin, soldiers are cannon fodder, convicts and foreign recruits are worth even less. The irony is clear: if this reflects the true state of the modern Russian army, a relatively modest increase in Western support would likely enable Ukraine to prevail. Any pause in fighting should be welcomed if it leads to real progress. Talks in Abu Dhabi between the US, Ukraine and Russia continue, but territory remains the central obstacle. Russia still demands the Donbass in full, Ukraine rightly refuses. Meanwhile, President Zelensky warns of preparations for another major Russian offensive, timed with an approaching cold snap. Given Russia's minimal gains over 2 years, it is inconceivable that this illegal invasion should be rewarded with Ukrainian territory. UK Ministry of Defense assessments previously suggested Russia would need 4 more years and around 1 million additional casualties to seize its objectives. Putin also remains an indicted war criminal at the International Criminal Court. All indicators suggest the Russian army is nearing its culminating point. Ukraine should negotiate from strength, not perform for Washington while indulging Moscow's fantasies. President Trump has an opportunity to secure a historic peace, but only by applying pressure where it belongs, on Putin, the man who can end this war, not on Zelensky, the man who cannot. By The Telegraph, opinion by Hamish de Bretton Gordon. February 1, 2026. Opinion by Hamish de Bretton Gordon.